You sense that the bridge is strong enough to support your weight, so as long as it is not subjected to any sudden or violent shock, such a shock could easily open up one of the many cracks that riddle its core. Forewarned by your Kai master, you step onto the bridge and advance carefully. As you reach the center of the bridge, the leading rats are flowing up the slope of the arch. You turn to confront them, drawing a weapon in preparation for a fight to the death if necessary. As they swarm nearer, you lash out, cleaving them from the narrow apex to fall, splashing into the torrent of water below. With your third blow, a shudder runs through the stone, causing you to stagger and fall. You land on the opposite bank, winded but otherwise unharmed. A loud crack fills the night, and the whole center section of the bridge collapses into the gully with a tremendous splash. Safe now from the ravenous rats, you can afford to continue along the beach at a less punishing pace. Of course, we have done nothing but make lots of noise since we got here, so I'm sure that's a good thing. The stone blocks of a fallen tower lie scattered in an uneven line across the beach, like the vertebrae of a long-dead giant. Lightning flashes, and you see the battlements of Khazan-ud, a wide breach in the wall where the tower once stood. A stone staircase from the beach to the top of the ruined wall rises from the beach to the top of the ruined wall, but sections of it are missing, presumably torn away when the tower collapsed. If you wish to climb the stairs to the fortress, I do, because it's the whole point, is to get to the fortress. To begin with, the scattered steps and hollows pose no problems that your agility and skill cannot overcome. However, as you are nearing the top of the stairs, you suddenly find yourself staring at a yawning void. The steps have been sheared away, leaving a gap over 20 feet wide. Good lord, if you have the Magna Discipline of Nexus, I do not. If you have a rope, I do have a rope. You tie a loop in one end of the rope and scan the opposite side for a secure target. A spur of stone near the center of the shattered staircase looks promising, and you aim for that. On your second attempt, the rope finds its mark and tightens around the stone. You waste no time crossing the gap, and within minutes you are safely across and climbing the few remaining stairs to the breached fortress wall. Now I assume we keep our rope, we just untie it and keep it. Didn't say we lost it. Alright then. Stepping carefully through the slime-smeared rubble, you stop for a moment and catch your breath and survey the shattered keep of Khazan-ud. By the way, I am now back up to 37. That was 4 numbered sections. Alright. It is a desolate sight. Only stone buildings remain intact, and everything is covered with creepers and mildew. A great fire must have ravaged the inner fortress to have resulted in such total devastation. In the center of the keep stands the Great Hall, still an imposing stronghold, and made all the more frightening by the constant flash of green lightning. Beyond this burnt and fungus-covered wooden door, twisted tree forms with sharp barbed thorns sprawl across the cracked flagstones like coils of steel wire. You are about to enter when a movement in the air around your head arrests you. A shape is taking form in the doorway, a shadowy figure with flaming red eyes. An icy chill grips your heart as it sweeps past you with a swirling rush of wind. You spin around to see it hovering in the sky. Its shadowy hand now gripping a great spiked ball and chain. It shrieks an unearthly cry, and the ball whistles down toward your unprotected face. My face is not unprotected. I'm wearing a silver helm. And then we got a picture of this guy with a mace. Or actually, it's like a morning star, isn't it? Yeah, it's more like a morning star. Alright, if you have the Magna Discipline of Size screen, I do not have that, sadly. If you not possess this skill, you must prepare to defend yourself, for there is no time to evade the sudden attack. Owing. What? Oh, owing. Got it. Owing to the speed of the attack, deduct 3 points from your combat skill unless you have the combat skill of Hunt Mastery. I do have that. Yay! It's time to fight. So, he has a combat skill of 20. I have a combat skill of 26. This should go over pretty easily. 29. Whoa, not 298 endurance. That's crazy. Alright, let's get it on! He's down to 18, I'm down to 36. He's down to 2. He's dead, and I'm down to 33. Wow, I lost 4 endurance points again. Okay. The shadow flares red before dissolving into the dense gray mist. Didn't I need like a silver sword to hit Ghost? No, wrong game? Okay, sorry. A sudden chill makes you shiver. You pull your cloak around you, taking comfort from its warmth, but it is as if the cold comes not from the damp wind, but from somewhere deep inside you. You feel hungry, and now you must eat a meal, lose 3 endurance points. Unless you have Hunt Mastery, which I do. When you have finished, you make a quick check of the equipment before taking your first cautious steps inside the Great Hall. Stealthily, you cross the cracked flagstone floor of the Great Hall, your muscles and nerves tensed for the sound of danger. The constant sound of dripping water and the howl of the storm add to the utter desolation of the chamber. A thorny jungle of bars climbs the wall with greedy claws, coiling around the rotten frames of paintings and weaving through the damp and moldering tapestries. Suspended above the fireplace is a great Arnurian broadsword, its pitted steel blade pointing to one side. Your eyes travel along the blade to the shadows of the fireplace, and you notice something lying in the grate. Moving near, you see that it is a body of a dead man. Oh, joy. Behind it is a panel wedged open by the corpse, and peering into the gloomy opening, you can just make out some stairs disappearing down into the darkness. And we have a picture of that. The dead body holding open the door. Fantastic. If you wish to examine the dead body, I do indeed. The first thing that you notice is the warrior's lack of wounds. No sword cuts or arrow shafts pierce his armor. It is as if it were not for the unmistakable smell of death, you could be forgiven for thinking that he was asleep. You turn the body over and take a look at his face and recoil in shock at the sight before you. The eyes are missing, leaving 2 ghastly black holes. The tongue hangs out, dark and swollen, from the corners of the twisted mouth, and from the corners of the twisted mouth oozes a thick greenish fluid. Filled with revulsion, you leave the body and step into the secret passage. Ugh, that's great. Descending the narrow staircase, you arrive at a tunnel-like corridor, sandwiched between 2 walls of moldering masonry. Foul, oily water gurgles along the channel and its slippery floor towards the distant archway, which is blocked by a black iron portcullis. Bolted to the crisscross bars is a plaque which bears a curious design. And there's a footnote. For those who cannot use the illustration of the plaque, for those who do not have access to it, we offer the following description. Ah, okay. Alright, I don't need that description because I got the picture. On the wall to your left is a large rusty dial with a brass pointer set around it. Like the numerals of a clock are the numbers 1 to 40. Below the dial is a lever. Your basic Kai instinct tells you that by selecting the correct number or number pulling on the level, you will open the portcullis. And by the way, the picture for anyone who can't see this is a bunch of triangles. A triangle with a bunch of triangles in it. And I think I have an idea where they're going with this. I have divination! You sense that the trap guards this portal. Should you choose the wrong number or numbers before pulling the lever, the consequences could be fatal. Oh, joy. You ponder the problem for several minutes, using your natural Kai instincts to the fullest, I assume, as you try to discover which of the numbers in the dial would open the portcullis. The image of your numbers 3, 9, 13, 33 fill your mind, but try as you might, you cannot determine which one's correct. Alright, I am thinking... Hang on. Okay, now if I am not going completely crazy, I think this is one of those puzzles. How many triangles are there? Which, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 4, no, wait, no, 13? I think there's 13. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 small ones, 1 big one, which is 10, and then 3 smaller ones, which is 13. Was 13 an option? I think it was. Yes, right. So we're gonna try 13. The shriek of metal on metal reverberates along the tunnel as the iron cogs grind into the action. I think I made it. Let's see. Footnote. Yes, it's the correct answer. Ha ha ha! I'm a genius. Slowly, the portcullis rises into the roof. Wasting no time, you duck beneath the pointed bars and hurry into the passage beyond. Rats flee, squeaking as you stalk along the slippery flagstones. You wince as their claws rasp on the wet rock, and their hairless tails furrow the stinking green slime that covers the surface of the tunnel floor. The passage widens as it approaches a staircase that leads down. Halfway down the stairs, you disturb a colony of bats nestling in the ceiling. They squeal angrily and whirl around your head, battering you with their wings and nipping at your face with their sharp, needle-like teeth. I do not have animal control or psi surge. The bats are ravenously hungry, and you have stirred them into a frenzy by the unexpected smell of their favorite food, warm human blood. It is too late to avoid combat. You must fight for your life if you are to not become their feast. Unless you have the Magna discipline of curing, you must double all endurance points you lose sustained during the fight due to the bat's poisonous saliva. Well, I do have curing at least. That'll work. Combat skill 19. Endurance 32. I think I recovered like 2 from that. I don't know. I'll say I got 2, so we're at 35. And let's get it on. They're down to 20. I'm down to 34. They're dead. They're dead because they're freaking bats and a Makai master. What do you think was gonna happen? Alright, as the few remaining survivors whirl away into the darkness, you sheath your weapon and kick aside the torn bodies of those who fell to your deadly blows. A stone room awaits you at the bottom of the stairs, featureless and bare except for the weapons rack hanging on the wall in the far corner. It holds a spear and a broadsword, both in remarkably fine condition. The torchlit tunnels offer an exit to this chamber. One descends to the north and the other to the east. Now, I don't remember which weapons I actually have. Weapons, a broadsword, and a sword, which means none of those are helpful to me. Alright, do you have the kind of discipline of pathmanship? No, I don't. So I want the north tunnel or the east tunnel? North or east? North, east. I like north, because north is where the North Pole is, and Santa Claus lives in the North Pole, so we're going north. The tunnel descends to a vast cavernous hall. Spirals of yellow smoke rise up on either side of the narrow stone walkway that leads to its center. There it meets another path running from east to west. Cautiously you advance along the walkway, your stomach unsettled by the stench of sulphurous smoke and the sight of the dark yawning void on either side. At the junction, you hear the sound of running feet echoing from an archway to your right. The footfalls grow louder, and suddenly a man in leather armor bursts out of the darkness, his studded boots striking sparks on the stone pathway as he skids to a halt. Sweat pours down his lean and leathery face, and his eyes flash with fear. He casts an anxious glance over his shoulder before unsheathing his sword and advancing towards you. If you have the Magna Chi skill of divination, wow, this skill is definitely starting to pay off, isn't it? You sense that the man is petrified with fear. An aura of evil grows stronger by the second, radiating from the darkened archway like a terrible black heat. The evil is so strong that it blocks your discipline. Wow, and you cannot be sure if the warrior is friend or foe. If you wish to draw your weapon and prepare to defend yourself, if you wish to avoid confrontation by running the opposite archway, let's draw the weapon and prepare to defend ourselves. I don't want to fight this guy, but if he's on the good side, I want to be there to help him. I don't want to just run. Alright, the warrior is halfway across the walkway when a hungry shriek resounds from the arch. He spins on his heel and crouches in readiness for combat. A murmur of low mutterings follows the sound. The sound chills you. Then, gurgling and hissing through clenched teeth, 3 creatures, their shiny skins as black as night, creep from the shadows and fix you both with fiery stares. The warrior begins to shake, his sword wavering in his gloved hands. As the creature stalks forward, his nerve breaks and he turns and flees toward you. Save yourself, stranger! They'll eat you alive! If you wish to run with the warrior and evade the creatures by escaping the archway opposite. If you wish to attack the warrior, if you decide to let him pass and face the creatures alone. Yeah! I'm gonna take these guys out. Magna Chi! No one I was trained by Hercule. Yeah! I don't run. Snickering with evil delight, the creatures stalk closer and closer, talons springing from the fingers of their leathery webbed hands, and their eyes blaze with wildfire as they prepare to pounce. Combat skill 27, endurance 35. Let's do this. We're gonna beat their tails.